Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, a couple of days ago, I read this article from Atlanta Black Star entitled Ohio Teens That Killed Black Men Will Receive No Jail Time. So, what I want to do is read a couple of excerpts from this article, summarize this article, and then just provide my commentary. So, this article says the four teens who threw a sandbag off an overpass that killed an Ohio man will not face jail time. They will instead be sent to a treatment center. This goes on to talk about how the 14s between the ages of 13 and 14 threw rocks and sandbags onto Interstate 75 in Toledo, Ohio. They killed 22-year-old Ohio Marquise Byrd, who was riding in the passenger seat of the car. And this says that according to WTVG, three of the teens were sentenced to 3 years in the Department of Youth Service, while the teen who threw the sandbag was sentenced to the Department of Youth Service until he turns 21. However, the judge suspended all four sentences and ruled that they be placed in a treatment center. And this goes on to say that the youth treatment center is a lockdown facility in Toledo. The program runs 6 months, but there's no set time for release. The average youth spends 8 months there. The judge told the court this was not a prank. Throwing things off an overpass is not a prank. And despite them killing a young man, the judge wanted the children to learn how to be productive members of society. And one of the teens told the judge this. He said, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong thing. And then he begged for the victim's family for forgiveness. Find it in your heart to forgive me. I'm only 14 years old. And Byrd's lawyer called the judge's decision outrageous. So I want to just take some time to talk about this. You know, the other day I had a debate on O'Shea Duke Jackson's show with these two African Americans who were trying to say that there's no such thing as white privilege, or they were trying to minimize it. So this is a prime example of white privilege. Here you have a situation where these teens basically kill a 22-year-old black man. And instead of them facing some real jail time for this crime, for this homicide, these killers, these young killers, are going to go to some treatment center. And more likely than not, they will only be there for about 8 months. That's another example of white privilege. And then we had a situation where this guy, who lawyers raised this defense of Affluenza. You know, this person killed like 4 people, if I'm not mistaken. I will post a link in the description box to that article. He killed 4 people and he didn't serve any jail time at all until he violated his probation. And then I think he was in jail for a couple of years, and now he is free after killing 4 people in a drunk driving accident. That is what white privilege looks like. White privilege allows people who commit crimes to get very light sentences. White people who commit crimes to get these very light sentences. Whereas a black person, they could commit some minor offense and have a stiff sentence for that offense. So that's the first thing. You know, this white privilege, how these white people who are middle class or whatever are given very light sentences. They're given a second chance. They're given an opportunity for rehabilitation. But when it comes to black people, they lay down the law. They are harsh and they don't show that kind of mercy. So that's the first thing. The second thing is this. I mean, this is just another reminder of how black lives do not matter in this society. Yet people have the nerve to question the movement. It's just calling for people to recognize that black lives matter. So you had this young man in the prime of his life, 22 years old, his life snuffed out because of this foolish behavior of these 4 white teens. And now not only is he dead, but his family is not receiving any kind of justice at all. These kids are walking away with a slap on the wrist after killing this brother. A dog's life has more value than a black man's life in this country. As I said before, a damn gorilla's life has more value. People were more outraged about that gorilla that was shot and killed at that zoo than they were about this black man. I haven't heard much about this story, about this brother being killed. I haven't seen the same kind of outrage that they had when that gorilla was killed at that zoo, when that boy fell into the gorilla's pit. I didn't see the same kind of outrage for this black man that we saw for that gorilla. And people were upset when a lion was killed. When someone killed a lion, they were more upset about a damn lion than they are about this brother right here. And that just goes to show you that our lives mean absolutely nothing in this society. Roadkill has more value than the black man's life. So anyway, I just had to share this with y'all. So tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.